Normal versus caffeinated signal transduction pathway in the brain. The adenosine is first pumped out of the cell. Adenosine is produced by the breaking down of ATP and is what is left over when the 3 phosphate groups are removed. The adenosine then binds to the adenosine receptor, which activates the G protein. The G protein will then go on to activate adenylate cyclase. Adenylate cyclase will then cause ATP to be converted to cAMP. The cAMP is then used to activate protein kinase. This causes potassium to be released out of the cell. When potassium is released, it prevents neural activity by depolarizing the membrane and makes the brain feel more tired. The protein kinase also causes calcium to be removed from the brain and brought into the cell. Calcium is a messenger and regulates nerve functions. When it is removed from the brain, it causes the nerves to be less active, resulting in the body feeling more tired.
There are 2 different types of adenosine receptors and G proteins. The A1 receptor is found on wake-stimulating neurons. These receptors activate the G protein, which inhibits the amount of adenylate cyclase that is activated. The A2 receptor is found on sleep-promoting neurons. These receptors activate the G2 protein, which causes more adenylate cyclase to be activated. When caffeine is consumed, it is brought into the brain. Caffeine is an antagonist that blocks adenosine from binding to the adenosine receptors and results in a delay of drowsiness, therefore causing you to feel more awake. The chemical structure of caffeine is very similar to adenosine, which is why it is able to bind to the receptor, but it is not the exact same, so it does not activate the receptor, it only blocks it. After about 4 hours,
many hours later,
the body starts to break down the caffeine, allowing the adenosine to bind to the receptors and causing the body to feel more tired. The more a person consumes caffeine, the more adenosine receptors their body makes to help make up for the caffeine inhibiting the other receptors. This is called caffeine tolerance. This is also why it is very difficult to stop consuming caffeine after regularly consuming it. The excess receptors allow more places for the adenosine to bind and causes the signal transduction pathway to happen more in a smaller amount of time, making the body feel even more exhausted.
Brought to you by Emma
And Grace.